Today we're going to look at an item that I watch people walk past all the time to get to something else. We're going to talk about one of those items that most people assume is the lesser value in this genre. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about an area that I usually do fairly well in. Now, these are a bunch of gum wrappers from trading cards. Here's just a few of them. On some of these too, there's two different versions of these. If you look here, this one advertises toys, as you can see there, and then this one advertises what was left over of uncut sheets they sold as like special promos. So some of the older cards they couldn't sell, they just left uncut and sold for a lot more money as a promo sheet. Now we have like 60 sets of all 6 different versions of the wrappers there are. From Star Wars from 1978, all different series. The blue cards all the way through the orange series. They do extremely well. They're quick movers for us. We get them from a bunch of different movies. Indiana Jones, I've got Grease. Now these sorts are fairly common. I just put like 20 different wrappers into a lot for 25 or 35 bucks. I usually am able to sell them that way if I put stuff like this in there. These horror cards with comical sayings on them. Dune. Now Dune will probably pick up with a new movie coming out. Baby was another one where they find a baby dinosaur. Got a couple of quite a few of these. Cyndi Lauper, I liked her back in the day. Tron, one of my favorite movies from way back then. E.T. There's a bunch of these. I've got thousands of wrappers. Many people assume since it's not the cards themselves that they're not worth a ton of money. I have watched people grab an entire lot of cards, I don't know how many times, and not look over just a few inches away for stacks of the wrappers for those very same cards. Most people would assume the value is in the cards. Most people assume that's where they're going to get their money from. Once they get the cards, most people just stop looking for other items related to them. Now, with wrappers, there's far less wrappers than overall cards to begin with. Now, a good way to explain this is let's pick the 1959 Fleer Three Stooges set. It's a Three Stooges trading card set. It's just a normal baseball card size trading card set. The average card is like 5 up to, say, 10 or 15 bucks in decent condition, very good or so. Now, the wrapper, though, on the other hand, could go for 100 bucks or better any day of the week. I've seen excellent mint condition wrappers of that very same one sell for just hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So in most cases, it's the wrapper that's worth more out of trading cards when you're out there sourcing them. Usually the only other cards that are worth more than a wrapper on its own are usually card number 1 and the checklist cards. Card number 1 is usually on the top. It will take all the damage. If somebody rubber bands it, that's going to be the one that's usually damaged the most. So card number 1 is always worth more if you're into trading cards, and the checklist because people usually filled out the checklists. Let's have a look at some of the high values some of these insane items can go for. Now, some of the highest ones are usually sports cards, and they don't have to be very old. Many people assume newer ones aren't going to carry any value. Now, if there's a rookie card or another card that can sell for a lot of money out of a specific set, the wrappers will usually go for some good money because people want a wrapper to go along with those special cards many times to show where those cards were pulled out of. Now, usually I see them in lots. Just like I get them in mass quantities, people do as well, and they'll turn around and resell them like that. Look at the price. There's many of this sort of thing up there. Just like other things I've shown recently, like the magazine worth $4,000. I'll have a link to that one right up here if you want to see a magazine that routinely sells for some insane money. There are some specific wrappers, some specific things just like this that can sell for $1,000 or better in a small lot just like this. Most of these were discarded. That's why there's some value to them. These weren't meant to be collected. These are utilitarian items meant to hold the cards. They're waxed because they held gum and the whole works. So that's what you expect, that they would be discarded. Now, many of the companies did test runs. They would release a certain amount, limited run in certain cities or near their plants to see if it was worth selling. If they sold a bunch right away, they would probably distribute them across the country. So this one here is one of those test runs that never got widely released released. It was just a small limited run. $950 on this one. Plaques. Just another one of the lines that Topps tried. 86 Fleer, but this time you have the box with this as well. I always pick up the empty boxes these came in. I don't care if there's anything in it or not. Any empty box, if it's a decent series, decent set, I can get some good money. Any of the Star Wars ones from the 70s, I usually get 40 or 50 bucks if it's in good condition, empty. You sell the wrappers as well, empty wrappers. The whole work sells in this line here. 850 bucks basically on this one, so 36 wrappers. Jordan rookies in there if you want to know this one specifically, obviously. As I said, rookie cards from very well collected players will raise the value on the wrappers themselves. So this is some good money. This is something most people wouldn't assume is anything and is going to leave it behind. Especially if you're not into cards, you probably are going to leave these sorts of things by an empty box to grab the cards themselves, especially when they're this new. Here's another great example, 61 Fleer basketball cards. You got an empty box and 6 single wrappers, 800 bucks on this one here. Great example here. This sort of thing doesn't survive. No one saved the boxes usually unless they bought the last of them and then just stored their cards in it. That's the only other way I usually find empty boxes. The wrappers are pretty much insane to find for some of these, but the newer stuff is all over the place. 63 Parkhurst hockey set. This is an empty wax wrapper from that. Excellent item here as well. This one wrapper went for almost $800. Hockey are scarce on some of these earlier ones. They weren't mass-produced like, say, basketball, football, or baseball here. A lot of these came from Canada, so here in the United States, a lot of this sort of thing doesn't show up as much. Now here's a Bowman from 1952 baseball 5-cent pack. As you can see, well over $600. It sold from Canada. Many of these were available Canada and the U.S., the same basic version. Just depends on the brand maker itself. The wrappers, though, these are small. They don't always show up with cards. That's another key to these. A lot of times I find the wrappers totally apart from the cards, and many people miss them because of that as well. If I find a bunch of vintage cards, I always look around to see if there's any wrappers, because many times the wrappers will outweigh any of the cards unless you have some key rookie or something. Now here's a 1964 Spooky Theater Stories by Leaf. Leaf made a lot of good cards, if you don't know. The Leaf 1967 Star Trek series is probably one of the best Star Trek sci-fi ones from that era, in my opinion. These are excellent, though. This set here, 250 bucks for these 7 wrappers here. So pay attention out there. Don't just assume that it's always the card or always the item. That goes for a lot of things. The box to a vintage toy can be worth far more than the toy in some cases. Sometimes it can add 2, 3, 4 times the value to the box than the toy would sell for. Now here's a nice Gaudy set. Gaudy does a ton of good cards. Early ones mostly. This is World War. These are a series of World War I cards. Nice early, 1933, as I said, just 2 wrappers, $250. Now, foreign ones can do extremely well, far better than some U.S. ones. Now, here is one from Australia, printed in Australia, released in Australia. It's basically the same series of cards as the U.S. releases. These are extremely scarce, though, because obviously less of these were made than the U.S. production. This wrapper here, close to $200, as you can see, 189 bucks. Nice condition here, as you can see. Now here's a real nice one from 64 for the Beatles. I run into the Beatles cards all the time. Constantly I find Beatles series cards, but I almost never find the wrapper. The wrapper on this one, 170 bucks basically. Again, the wrappers are worth far more than the cards. Everybody saved the cards. Most people did not save the wrappers. And again, with one pack of cards, there was multiple cards, 10 cards, 11, depending on stickers and things like that, and only one wrapper. And as well, wrappers were meant to be discarded. Charlie's Angels here. You can see the price on the box. These were 10 cents in the 70s. When I was a kid, you get a pack of Star Wars cards for 10 cents to a quarter usually. That's the price they went for. Here's an empty box, and they also have a bunch of wrappers inside of it as well. 80 bucks on this. Not that old. TV series, you know, so all of this sort does have some value. Display items. People want to be able to display them. They want the box that came in. They want the wrappers that came in. So don't just assume that you need to have the cards every time. Now here's Topps Batman from '66. There were multiple series from Batman, from the TV series as well as cartoon and painted illustration cards. $80 for this wrapper. So $80 on this one here. Again, discarded items. All of these were meant to be discarded. Now here's a Lost in Space, 5 cents on this pack here. It went for $70. Most of the 60s and 70s can carry some value across the board. Now, just like the stack of wrappers that I showed you, here's somebody else selling a stack of them. And this is from the Orange series of Star Wars, the last of the run here, and it went for $66. They're really good items to grab up. They sell really well. They don't take up much space. They're easy to ship. There's so many reasons why I nab these up every time I see them. Again, if you can't sell them individually, just lot them up, and you can still make some pretty good money. It's a small little stack of these. Well, there you have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Shinobi, 19 stages of major ninja warfare. Observe, you got your throwing stars, your bombs, your nunchucks.
Shinobi, just one of 70 games from Sega. Master System and games sold separately.